Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Social Security Post. If you are enrolled in SNAP or Medicaid, or if you know someone who relies on these programs, please listen closely because there are some of the biggest changes in decades happening right now. These changes will affect nearly 100 million people across America, including seniors, grandparents raising grandchildren, and anyone living on a limited income. It's so important to understand exactly what's changing and how it could impact your family. If you have any questions as you follow along, please leave them in the comments below. I personally read every single comment and will reply to help you get the answers you need. And before we dive in, please hit the like button and subscribe to Social Security Post so you never miss an important update on your benefits, Social Security, or retirement. We work hard to bring you clear, honest information you can trust. So let's jump right in and help you stay protected and prepared. Let's start by looking at how many people these programs support because it's truly enormous. SNAP, which many still call food stamps or EBT, helps about 42 million Americans every single month. This program makes sure families can buy groceries and put meals on the table. At the same time, Medicaid supports roughly 71 to 72 million people, helping them pay for critical health care like doctor visits, prescriptions, hospital stays, and nursing care. Medicaid is especially vital for seniors and people with disabilities who can't afford private insurance. When you combine SNAP and Medicaid, nearly 100 million people rely on these programs. That's about 1/3 of the entire US population. So when Congress or state governments make changes to these benefits, it sends shockwaves through entire communities. Seniors on Social Security often depend on SNAP to cover food costs, while Medicaid fills huge gaps in health coverage. These programs are lifelines, plain and simple. That's why Social Security Post is here to break this news down in respectful, understandable language so you can plan ahead and protect your household. Whether you use SNAP, Medicaid, or both, it is crucial to follow these updates and share them with your loved ones. Let's keep going. Let's break down what's happening with SNAP. Under the new budget changes, the government is planning to reduce SNAP spending by $295 billion over the next 10 years. That means they will pull about $29.5 billion away from SNAP every single year. That is a massive cut. It is expected to push roughly 3.2 million people out of the SNAP program entirely. Think about that. Nearly 3.2 million people who depend on SNAP for food could suddenly be cut off. With 42 million Americans currently enrolled, this could bring enrollment down to around 39 million, a huge change. There's another big shift involving the cost of living adjustment, or COLA, which is meant to keep benefits in line with rising prices. SNAP usually goes up a little each year to help people deal with food inflation, just like Social Security does. But under this plan, they will place a cap on those increases, saving the government about $35 billion over 10 years. Or about $3.5 billion per year. That means families, especially seniors, will see less help buying healthy food as grocery prices keep rising. Here on Social Security Post, I will keep covering these changes because they could force many seniors to choose between paying their electric bill or buying fresh produce. We need to stay informed, and we will do it together. One of the biggest areas of change for SNAP is the work requirement. Under these new rules, able-bodied adults without dependents, often called able-bodied, between the ages of 18 and 64 will have to complete at least 80 hours per month or 20 hours each week in work, training, education, or volunteering. If you cannot meet these requirements, you risk losing your benefits completely. That is a serious change because in the past there was more flexibility, especially for people with part-time or seasonal work. I want to make sure this is crystal clear. If you live with a disability, you are exempt from these work requirements. People with disabilities are not classified as able-bodied under the law, so you do not have to meet these hours. But there's also a major change in how dependents are defined. Before, parents with kids under 18 were exempt from these work rules. Now, only parents with children under age 7 will be exempt. That means if you have a child or grandchild who is 7 years old or older, you will need to meet the 80-hour monthly rule to keep SNAP. For grandparents raising school-aged kids, that could be an impossible burden. Here at Social Security Post, I will keep explaining these details so you never feel alone or confused. Please drop your questions in the comments. I will answer them all. Next, let's look at Medicaid, which is also facing huge changes. Medicaid covers vital medical care, from routine checkups to serious surgeries, and helps millions of seniors fill the gaps left by Medicare. Under the new rules, Medicaid will now require able-bodied adults without dependents between ages 19 and 64 to complete work or volunteer requirements similar to SNAP. That means you will need to show you are working, learning, or volunteering every month or risk losing your Medicaid coverage. For people with inconsistent jobs or difficult health issues, this could put their health care in serious danger. The dependent rules under Medicaid are shifting too. Now, children 13 and under will count as dependents, but kids 14 and up will no longer be considered dependents under these work rules. So if you care for a teenager, you will still have to meet work or volunteer hours, which is hard for many seniors and grandparents who step in to raise older children. It feels deeply unfair because teenagers absolutely still depend on their guardians, but the new rules do not see it that way. If this is hard to understand, please comment below at Social Security Posts. We promise to break these rules down as many times as needed so you feel secure and supported. Beyond work requirements, Medicaid is also going to see a big drop in enrollment. Experts predict that about 10 million people could lose Medicaid coverage over the next few years. Right now, around 71 or 72 million people rely on Medicaid for their health, but that could shrink to 61 or 62 million after these changes. That is a massive number of people who could be left without any way to pay for their medicine, doctor visits, or emergency care. For seniors living on Social Security, this is a very serious risk that we want to highlight clearly. In addition, there is a new $35 copay that will apply to some Medicaid services. At the moment, many people pay $0, $1, or maybe $3 for a medical appointment. Under these new rules, some services will cost $35. That may not sound like much to a politician, but for someone living on a small fixed income, $35 could mean skipping a doctor's visit or going without a needed prescription. I truly do not want that to happen to you. That's why here on Social Security Post, I will keep updating you so you have a chance to prepare and find other resources before these changes hit. Please leave a comment if you want me to explain anything in more detail. Let's put the dependent definitions side by side because I know this can be confusing. Under SNAP, a dependent is now defined as a child under age 7. So children 7 and older do not count as dependents, and you must meet work rules if you care for them. For Medicaid, the dependent definition goes up to children 13 and under. Children who are 14 and older do not count as dependents for these work requirements. That means parents, grandparents, or guardians of teenagers will be forced to meet work requirements, even if those teens still fully depend on them. I know this feels complicated. A 14-year-old is obviously still a dependent in any practical sense, but these laws are drawn differently. I encourage you to write down these numbers: under 7 for SNAP, under 14 for Medicaid, to help remember them. If you mix them up, you might accidentally lose your benefits. If you ever want me to review these rules again, just leave a comment here on Social Security Post, and I will gladly explain it in simpler words. Our community is about staying informed, helping each other, and protecting our families, so don't be shy about asking questions. We are in this together. Seniors, these changes are going to create big challenges. If you are retired and living on Social Security and also rely on SNAP or Medicaid, these work requirements and benefit cuts could hit hard. Imagine being told you must work 20 hours a week while also caring for a grandchild, managing your own health, and living on a small monthly check. That is going to be too much for many people. Grandparents raising older children will feel it the most because the new rules make those children ineligible as dependents. That is heartbreaking because older kids still need love, food, and support. On top of that, everything is getting more expensive: rent, utilities, groceries, medications. Expecting seniors to jump through new hoops just to keep a bit of help is unfair and stressful. Here at Social Security Popes, I want you to know that you are not alone. We will keep breaking this down, answering your questions, and sharing resources to help you cope. Your dignity and peace of mind matter, and you should never be ashamed of asking for information or support. Please keep those questions coming in the comments. I will personally read and answer them to make sure you feel safe and heard. Before I finish, I want to say this clearly: you are not alone. There are millions of seniors and families facing these changes together. Please share this video, share the information, and talk to your friends or neighbors about what's coming. You could save them from losing benefits they depend on. Here at Social Security Post, I believe that community is everything. When we talk to each other and stay informed, we are stronger. That's why I am here, to keep this conversation going with you every single week. And if you have questions or worries about these new rules, please write them in the comments. I will reply with kindness and clear explanations. Together, we can get through these challenges with dignity. I promise to keep bringing you updates in plain and honest language so you feel prepared and confident about your benefits and retirement future. Don't let these changes catch you by surprise. We will face them together one step at a time. Thank you so much for watching today on Social Security Posts. If this breakdown was helpful, please hit that like button so other seniors can see it. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. That way you'll never miss another critical update about Social Security, SNAP, Medicaid, or any other benefits that matter to you. You are not alone and you are stronger than you think. Please be kind to yourself, stay aware, and stay hopeful. If you want to keep learning, explore more videos on Social Security Post, there is a lot of helpful content there for you right now. Until next time, take care of yourself and your loved ones. I'll see you again very soon. Bye for now.